The labor market looks dismal, and the Florida condominium HOA crisis that may leave people homeless. Today, I read an interesting article on CNN Business written by Alicia Wallace titled, Jobs Report Shows a Hiring Slowdown as Companies Are Acting Like They're in a Recession. According to the author, the U.S. economy kicked off 2025 by adding 143,000 jobs in January, fewer than expected, but unemployment dipped 4% according to data released by the BLS. Now, folks, here's what is interesting. The author said in January, healthcare and social assistance led the way, accounting for nearly half of the month's gains by posting net job growth of 66,000. The retail sector and government, which spans federal, state, and local hiring, recorded employment growth of 34,300 and 32,000 respectively. Here are my thoughts. So we may have a nation with a lot of sick people and a lot of people who need social assistance. I don't think that is a good sign for a superpower like the United States. I'd rather see manufacturing leading the way instead of healthcare and social assistance. Let me ask you this. Do you think it is a good thing that retail and government were also growth areas? Donald Trump is working to shrink the government, so we likely won't see gains in that area anymore. In terms of retail, I continue to read about store closures. I also continue to read articles about the consumer who is tapped out financially. We have a record amount of credit card debt during a time when interest rates are sky high. Again, I'd rather see manufacturing leading the way instead of seeing employment growth in the government and retail sectors. Note that I said I'd rather see manufacturing leading the way. I'm not discounting the fact that there were some jobs added in manufacturing. One thing that didn't surprise me was a decline in leisure and hospitality. While you may see people on social media posting pictures of their fancy vacations, there are a lot of Americans who simply don't have the money to travel. They are struggling to afford groceries, struggling to service their credit card debt, student loan debt, and trying to figure out how to cover their mortgage payment that recently went up because of increases in property taxes and homeowners insurance. This is reality from my perspective. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube with a gong. Now, I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, consumer prices up, jobs down, and recession on the way. Welcome back, Donnie. We missed your collapsed economy that you left us with in your first term. The next commenter said, with all the federal workers who will be unemployed soon, those jobs will go down the drain. Expect a recession soon. Another commenter said, there is no point in hiring more during times of economic uncertainty and instability. The next person said, how is the yacht and private plane business doing? Bugatti and Ferrari seem to be okay with all those sports heroes buying up fancy cars. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, the most important part of the story hasn't been told for years. It is the hollowing out of the educated middle-class professional roles, especially in the tech sector. We are quickly headed to a gilded age again. Ultra-rich and hourly service workers. Well, my friends, these commenters always have strong opinions. Please keep in mind, these are the thoughts of the commenters and not me. I'm curious, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on yahoo.com, put out by MoneyWise, and written by Christy Bieber, titled, Florida's condo fee crisis could trigger the next wave of homeless people in the state, says one representative. The author of this article said condo fees can be a big problem by themselves, but the situation is made worse by other high living costs. Home insurance prices in Florida are among the highest in the nation. The average premium for a $300,000 dwelling in the state was $5,488 as of February 10th, nearly 2.5 times the national average of $2,258. This is according to Bankrate. My friends, This is likely coming to a neighborhood near you. Maybe not to this extreme, but home insurance prices have been rising, just like vehicle insurance prices have been rising. I'm sure some of you watching this video have experienced this already. I suspect there are Americans who will be stressed out when they get a letter from their mortgage company letting them know their escrow is underfunded and their monthly payment is increasing. Some will be ill prepared to deal with the increase since many people are already living paycheck to paycheck and barely hanging on financially. To my point, the author of this article said, some Florida retirees have reported going back to work because they can no longer pay their bills. I don't think this is just a problem in Florida. From everything I've been reading, this is a problem nationwide. There are a lot of Americans on a fixed income who just can't make it anymore. The true cost of living has increased much more than their modest Social Security cost of living adjustments. In a section of this article, the author referenced a Florida state lawmaker who warned that the situation there could prompt the next wave of homeless people. The author said elderly residents living on a fixed income may be at the forefront. My friends, this is scary to think about, and if this actually happens, it would be tragic. I hate to think about elderly people being put in this type of financial situation. I hope some are able to explore options other than homelessness, such as downsizing to a more affordable property. That may require them to move out of state where they can purchase a less expensive home without condo fees and with lower property taxes and insurance. The problem is, some people may have a hard time unloading their condo for what they owe. Who in the world is going to want to buy a condo if they know the HOA fees just went up and there may be special assessments on the horizon to deal with the cost to cover structural repairs that are needed? I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, the problem with HOAs is that you can't control them. If you're on a fixed income, as most retired people are, those fees have tripled in the last 5 years. You can weather a storm, even rebuild, but HOAs will drain you. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, Florida can turn Mar-a-Lago into temporary housing for the homeless. Finally, let real people occupy it. I'm going to chime in regarding the commenter who said you can't control HOAs. This isn't true. Typically, all of the owners get to vote. As someone who once owned 6 condos, the bigger problem from my experience is the owners don't always support things that should happen and want to put off dealing with expensive problems by kicking the can down the road. In the end, this can result in even bigger problems to deal with. I was the president of an HOA for many years, and I can tell you that a lot of people do not manage their personal finances well. Many shouldn't own properties. I'm curious, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.